TypeScript has a new type called tuple, which is a fixed length array where each element has a particular type. We often use them when working with a pair of values. For example, let's say for each user, we want to represent two values, an ID and a name. So we declare a variable and annotate it using a special syntax like this. First, we add square brackets and then tell the compiler that the first element is going to be a number, whereas the second element is going to be a string. And then we initialize our variable like this. So we have a fixed length array with exactly two elements, nothing more, nothing less. So if we add a third element here, we get a compilation error saying type number string number is not assignable to type number string. Okay? So exactly two elements, and these elements should have these types. The first one has to be a number. So if we pass a string, again, we get a compilation error. Now, just like before here, we get IntelliSense or code completion. So if we access the first element, we see all the methods of number objects. And if we access the second element, we see all the properties and methods of string objects. Again, one of the reasons I love TypeScript. Now, one thing you need to know about tuples is that internally, they're represented using plain JavaScript arrays. So if we compile our code, we're just going to see a regular JavaScript array. Let me show you. So here in the terminal, let's run tsc. Good. Now, back in our project, here in the dist folder, let's open index.js. Look, we just have a regular JavaScript array. So that means, back in our TypeScript code, if we type user period, over here, we can see all the methods of array objects. Now, one of these methods is a little bit troublesome, and that is the push method. So we can call this method and store a third value in this array. And the compiler is not going to complain here. I believe this is one of the gaps in TypeScript at the time of recording this. Hopefully, this will be solved in the future. So a tuple is a fixed length array where each element has a particular type. Now, as a best practice, I would say restrict your tuples to only two values, because anything more than that is going to make your code a bit hard to understand. For example, if we add a Boolean and another number here, what do these values really represent? It's really hard to tell. So tuples are useful when we have only two values, like key value pairs. Next, we're going to talk about enums.